Hi everyone, I'm Monica, and you are and welcome to EduAdvice podcast series where we decode career, education, global opportunities, and the reality students are often never told about. We are joined by Sumit Rai, co-founder and CEO of ZGEN, someone who has worked closely in international education, global universities, collaborations, and students' career ecosystem for years. This conversation is not just about studying abroad. It's also about understanding the future. Thank you so much, Sumit Rai, for joining us.
It's my pleasure to be on your podcast, Monica.
So let's dive right into it. Every second student today want to study abroad, but realistically speaking, do you think students are chasing opportunities or simply following trends and social pressure?
So, in order to decode Indian students and their aspirations going abroad for higher studies, the trend has been increasing year on year. Uh, Despite all those global political headwinds and war situations around the globe, the decisions of the students who want to go abroad for higher studies has not been completely dropped. There are scenarios and instances where the parents and if students have postponed their plan for by a year or 2 years, but their ultimate aim remains to go abroad for their higher studies. Now, there are a couple of reasons why this trend is not dying or why people are not, worried. The students are not worried of all these global turmoil which is currently happening. Uh, you see, Monica, uh, I'll take a very recent example about this NEET exams getting cancelled, right?
Yeah.
23 lakh plus students set for this exam, for this medical exam, which got cancelled, right? Now, these 23 lakhs or 2.3 million Indian students are fighting for roughly 1.5 lakhs or 1.25 lakh seats put all together, including your public medical colleges and private.
Hello. Hello.
Not. The similar situation is there as well.
Actually, I guess there was disconnected from your side. It got broke. Your voice was not clear in between. Now you're audible now.
Okay. So I was saying regarding these demand supply gap between the aspirations, the sheer number of students who want to study at top elite places in India versus the number of seats available across. You talk about medical, you talk about engineering, or you talk about uh, you know, uh, general subjects like management or art, science, and humanities. You have different levels of pillars to cross, so to say. All these testings and then testings when you are, more than 90-95 percentile, then you can expect some call coming from the elite tops. If you are 90 or below 90, you can say goodbye to IIT, you can say goodbye to all those AIMS and medical colleges, elite ones, right? Why? The question for me, to your audience, the simple question is, what happens if the person misses out by a percentile, by a point? Yeah, if they have 89 or they have 85 or 80. Does that make them a really very mediocre student? In Indian context, maybe because you are competing with the best of the best. India is a highly competitive market, and in order to stay on the top and get a very good start in your career, you want to end up with those institutes at those places, which more often than not, there would only be those handful of super tight and talented students which will qualify. What happens to the remains? The remaining student then start to look for alternate choices because a person with an 80 or 85 percentile is an absolute good student for a lot of foreign universities. They really welcome them, and there is a great career possibility once you graduate from those institutes. And you get that 5x or 10x of start vis-a-vis to the Indian university start, which you would get, provided you misses out those top elite institutes and you are starting at a normal university or college in India. So a competition decides whether you will be successful in the career or not, especially in Indian context. And there is just so much of demand supply gap that the students now take an alternate route that they can opt, they are value, and they can actually build a great future and career with at least 10x more salaries what they will expect in India for the same amount of work and time which they will spend. That is why this trend is not going anywhere. This will continue, and in India, students will find different options, different countries. If one goes down, the other will come up, and they will continue to move forward with their plans.
Yeah. Uh, a lot of students believe that going abroad automatically guarantees success and high salary. How true is that in today's world?
So, success guarantee, I wouldn't say. It entirely depends on the student. Also depends on the country he is going for his studies. Salaries in some countries, the salaries are benchmark. So depending on the program you do, you will start at that certain level of salary that has been benchmarked. So for example, if you are an engineering student and you want to go for masters in Germany, then an engineer with, let us say, a 0 year of experience will start with a benchmark salary of minimum 50 to 55,000 euros per annum. That is benchmark. A company cannot hire a student or an employee below this salary because this is government regulated salaries benchmark. In Germany, in Ireland, in UK, in Italy, in many other countries, these salaries are benchmarked plus minus 10%, but these are the standard rates. So salaries are guaranteed if you get a right job, if you get into the right company and a right opportunity. And how do you guarantee that right opportunity and right country is by, while you are studying there, you equally work hard and you identify those right opportunities provided either by the university or your college, or you are exceptional enough to figure those opportunities out by themselves. If you are able to, then salaries are guaranteed.
Yeah, like recently there was an article, like in European countries, most of our Indian students are going there to get graduated and they're landing into no jobs. Like what is your opinion on this? Like they're spending lakhs in completing that graduation and they're returning back to India with no employment, like as an unemployed. Like in fact, they have been stuck in that vicious cycle because they are like most of them take loan for completing their course, and if they are unemployed, then like what would be their next step?
See, I think there is a classic mismatch between expectations and aspirations and how we perceive foreign education versus how foreign universities perceive education. For us, traditionally, it's always has been ROI, return on investment. If I'm investing 20, 30, 40 lakh rupees on my child for an education, what is the return on investment I will get? Whereas foreign universities are not mapped like this. They are not placement centers. They simply believe that you are coming here for education. We will impart you quality education. That's where we will train you for. And then you go out and then you find the opportunities based on what you have studied. They will per se not out and out figure out a placement for you like what we get in India. Yeah. Secondly, you need to be very clearly defining right before you begin from India. Why are you going there? What is your objective? Do you even know whether the kind of study you are going to do in a particular country, do they even have jobs and industries for that particular kind of role or study which you are doing? Right? What kind of salaries I can expect? What is the post-study work visa I have? So all these things, we call it like a career planning. You need to do this beforehand, before you even decide to go to a particular university or country. Number third, if you talk about Europe, Europe plays a very classical role in terms of the language barrier. So if you are going to any country in Europe, be it Germany, France, Italy, Netherlands, any country leaving aside UK and Ireland, every other country has their own regional language. And if you don't play by their rules in terms of acquiring enough knowledge of theirs, then you will find it very difficult to break into the job environment. And this is the classic reason number three, why students are returning back, why they do not find opportunities. And then they can definitely blame a person who has counseled them for that particular university and program, because they were not well informed. And the student also did not do their homework. So these are the pre-stages which you need to have a very solid answer before you even decide that why I want to go abroad for higher studies.
Yeah, so research and development is very important before landing into a university. If a
Absolutely.
Yeah. If a student from tier 2 or tier 3 city wants to study abroad but lacks guidance, where should they realistically begin?
See, these days, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, the interest of going abroad is rising. And as I said, one of the classic reason is the tough competition which these students need to face, or the head start which they otherwise can get outside India, which for them in India, it will take longer time to get into that, right? So, lot of knowledge and information is available online. Lot of There are set of counselors and companies who have opened in tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. But I think for them, the best way to identify which is the right counselor or a company they need to work upon is to go on for their reviews online. If, these days, everything is virtual. So I don't have to open my office in Indore and Bhopal to guide a student sitting here from Pune. Yeah, I can definitely sit here and guide students across India and outside India too. It's just that the students in tier 2, tier 3 cities and their parents are more likely to believe in the local setup than somebody who does not have a presence in their city. So they want to visit the office, they want to see who is the face, who is counseling them, because it's a matter of 20, 30, 40 lakh rupees of investment. And they can't simply sometimes believe that somebody whom I have only seen virtually and can meet virtually would be able to do the justice of the investment which is required. So tier 2, tier 3 students always look for the office that they want to visit. There are a few smart ones, although, who have already been traveled across India, and they know that it does not matter. And the quality people who sitting in Delhi, in Bombay, in Pune, in Gurgaon, they can connect online. They can check reviews. They can watch some YouTube videos. They can attend various webinars and sessions to get that confidence, to get that understanding that somebody who is talking about these possibilities, how truthful is this, and then accordingly, then they can register with that particular counselor or company to take the process ahead. But do some due diligence before you finalize with person you want to work with, if at all. If you don't need any hand holding, any counselor support, then everything is actually available online, and it depends on a student how smart he is to make his or her own applications.
Yes, sir. So, but completely depending online is also not good because it provides some information, and once we reach there, as I mentioned, most of them are landing into those universities, which is not finally leading them into employment. So, like as you mentioned, like approaching a counselor
Correct.
would be a better idea than merely depending on floating information online. What are the biggest mistakes students make?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are the biggest mistakes students make while selecting universities abroad? Are students focusing too much on ranking and too little on actual outcomes?
I think according to me, the biggest mistake students would make. Uh, so if they are doing applications on their own and they have done half-hearted research regarding the university and the program and the career choices, then they have no one but themselves to blame then because they did not prepare themselves well. That's number one. Number two, if they are speaking to a counselor and the counselor is suggesting them some possibilities, what counselor is suggesting, you should also go back and cross-check the information provided by the counselor. Now, cross-checking the information does not harm you, but it just make your belief stronger in terms of whether you would like to engage for services with this counselor or not. Number three, you need to do a proper due diligence of the country you are entering into. See, the student should very clearly identify the objective they have and objective they want to achieve while going abroad for higher studies. Are you looking for a short-term job opportunity? Are you looking for a long-term plan? Are you looking for a PR? Do you want to settle? Do you want to come back to India? What are your thought process? What are your objectives around studying abroad? Do you want to come back and join your father's business? Then there is no discussion around job opportunities. Do you want to only look for 2 years? Do you want to look for 5 years and then want to come back? Do you want to eventually settle and never want to come back to India again? So once we have those objectives defined, accordingly, then you find the country who is more suitable to your objective. And those countries would then means a stay back of 6 months to up to 2 years or 3 years. Third is what is the economic situation of that country. You don't want to go to, for example, today to Israel or Ukraine to settle yourself, right? You want a stable country with a developed economy where they have good absorption power for foreign nationals, foreign students, and they can provide a stable career outlook. So those countries you need to identify. Traditionally, it's always been US, UK, Canada, Australia. Now the coming up countries is Germany, Ireland, France, Spain, Italy. So depending upon, so each of these countries come with their own specialized field to offer. So you need to identify, for example, you are going for an engineering or research or a PhD, then you can simply talk about Germany. Or if Germany does not suit you and you have a lot of money to spend, you can come to US. But for research and mechanical engineering or automobile engineering, don't come to, for example, to Spain or to lesser known countries where they have limited opportunities in these fields. So every country gets identified with the industry they offer, and whether your profile and career belongs to that industry is when you select that particular country. So once the country is selected with choice of your preference and your profile, then you look for the university program.
Yes, sir. So again, proper research and development and clear guidance is very important to land in a good university.
Absolutely. Without guidance, don't enter. Yes.
Many students spend lakhs on foreign degrees. Before applying to any universities, what are the three most important questions every student should ask themselves?
I think I've answered that already. The first and foremost, as I said clearly, is the objective. Why you want to go? What do you want to do? How long is your plan? Right? If you are able to answer these three questions, why you want to go, what do you want to do there, and what is your, let's say, short-term and long-term objective. If you have the answers, these are the first three answers which you need to have. You have that, then start picking up the country with respect to the research of the choice of the profile you want to pick, and then the university program.
Yes. So AI is rapidly transforming industries. Which courses, careers, or skills do you think will remain globally relevant in the next 5 to 10 years?
You cannot now remove or discount or discard AI. When you can't fight with your enemy, make friendship with your enemy. AI is going to be a friendship which you need to live and live longer than what you can imagine. And it's going to be across the industry. you name an industry, they will be using AI or will be adopting AI in the nearest future to continue to develop the growth and optimize their business model. So right now, and then now, because of the adaptation of an AI across the industry, you talk about manufacturing, you talk about service side, you talk about healthcare, everywhere this has been picked. Now, for you, the smartest goal will be which is your field where you are picking up a specialization and how the AI will get used in your specialization. And that is something which you need to identify. So if you are a mechanical engineer or an automobile engineer, then that is the field you will be identifying. But then on top of it, you need to now go deeper and understand where exactly the usage of AI is happening in my field of automotive engineering or in my field of aerospace engineering, which all areas are getting ticked and supported by AI. So AI is going to be embedded across the field, across the spectrum. You need to make friendship with an AI, and then you need to identify your own niche area, your own specialization, and then you progress ahead with respect to the career choice. I can't simply say that these are the hot topics. There are across the industry. There are some very specialized fields which you should pick. My advice is go for specialization. Don't go for generalist topic. If you go for general topics, then you do not have a future. Go for specialized topics, identifying well in advance where the usage of AI will impact in my specialization. And this is across the industry.
Yes. So yeah, AI is no more a buzzword. Now it became part and parcel of our life.
Absolutely. Yes.
Students today are building LinkedIn profiles, collecting certifications, and constantly trying to look productive online. But what actually makes a student employable internationally?
I think once again, internationally would be a very subjective term here, depending upon uh, the country you want to go into and how you then build your profile. Again, a classic example, let us say you want to go to France. Now, France is famous for aerospace engineering. France is famous for hospitality, travel and tourism, and France is very famous for management. Now, one of those top 15, 20 global schools are present in France, and which has all the three triple crowns. So once you know what are you looking to study, and then you identify the country where you want to go, where you want to head yourself, and then sorry, I missed what was your question once again?
Like how they should be employable internationally. They are
LinkedIn.
yeah.
Hmm. So once you know the program and the country you are applying, then you start working backward in terms of what is required in your field, in your specialization, which you should have. Randomly collecting the certificates won't help. You have to go with a very focused approach. If I am, for example, going for a master's program in cybersecurity, right? Then I need to get into more understanding about cybersecurity, perhaps collect some good certifications in this field, which are short term and offered by a reputed institute. And then, if I have picked, let us say, France as my country, then I will already start learning French, because if you don't learn French, you would have a very difficult time in France. Then I'm already started to learn French. Third is I will already start to upgrade my LinkedIn profile in terms of reaching out to those companies who are present in France, operating in the area of cybersecurity, or where this cybersecurity is getting applied in a country like France. So I will do this math, I will do this homework. Then accordingly, I will continue to build my profile. This is at master's level. At bachelor's level, you start rather early. And then you come to the closer, let us say, goal of achieving success in that particular program. At bachelor's level, when some students are starting at bachelor's, their profile building exercise actually starts from class 9th itself. If you are looking to target at, let's say, Ivy Leagues in US, then it's actually a 3 or 4 years of exercise. This lot which goes in a student profile, which these Ivy Leagues look at in the application, then are simply putting 98 or 99% in your class 10th and 12th. You still do not qualify to Ivy Leagues. So that is the exercise which starts very early. A profile building is what we call in our industry. And you would definitely need a specialist mentor or a guide who will analyze what you have, what you aspire to do, how we can further augment your profile so that you come closer to your goal and achieving success in that particular university or country.
Yeah. What do foreign universities actually look for in Indian students beyond marks and CGPA?
It has to be in a holistic approach of a profile. So some standard eligibility criteria needs to be met. That is basic. The cutoffs you need to meet. The language test, the aptitude test, and all. Apart from that, they also look at students in terms of work experience they bring. Now, work experience, even at high school level, is appreciated. So what kind of internships you have done, where you have applied your knowledge, what you have learned, you have applied in practical environment, what all those activities you did, what are your volunteering skills, how much did you travel outside India or within India, what kind of other community services you did, right? Is there any sports, is there any uh, music, or is any other hobby and extracurricular of yours which have taken you to a level and which you have pursued passionately apart from your studies, right? So all those things, and then of course your essays, which universities also read very, very carefully. What is it which you are trying to give them as a message in your essay? It's very important. So it's a result of all these topics which will make the admission committee decide yes and no on your profile. A simple plain profile at top elite universities across the globe does not get accepted.
Yeah, so holistic development and focusing more on practical learning will help
Absolutely.
them get admission in good universities.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't just sit idle in the home and just be glued on your system or your computer and just doing things which your school has asked. You need to be out. You need to be very practical, doing a lot of other things.
A lot of students fear rejection, especially when applying abroad. What separates students who successfully get opportunities from those who didn't?
I just answered it to you. Holistic profile versus an ideal profile.
Yeah.
You build your profile like this, you will avoid all the rejections or all the fears which you might have. If you have a very ideal profile, which is just your grades, then you pick up a country and a university which is actually looking for a student with a very straight profile. They don't have any other qualms in terms of the holistic profile approach. They are just there and they will accept you as a student and you just go there, pay their fees and start to study. So both sides exist. A great university would look at all the aspects of holistically, what I have said. A normal university where only criteria is if you are meeting their cutoffs, you are still welcome to come, you pay their fees, that's fine. So both students can decide what is their level of approach they want to do to avoid those rejection. I can get students admits with as low as 45 and 50% in their high school or in their graduation. But then you can imagine the university they will end up.
What are the some global career opportunities students are completely ignoring right now, but should seriously pay attention to?
I think global opportunities is across the field you talk about.
Yeah.
Engineering, There's a lot which is happening in engineering at the higher level. So space engineering, I would say. Physics, astrophysics is the subject which will take you to the next level in terms of engineering. You talk about uh, health tech, biotech. These are the fields which will start to use. So technology is already got into these life sciences or non-life sciences, but now further the usage of AI is getting deeper and deeper, where you as a student first identify the stream you want to pursue and then go deeper in terms of the advancement that particular stream or branch is making. And that's how you become successful. Now, this could be aligned to across the field, not only engineering or healthcare or aerospace, even management, even arts and science, even psychology. You pick a subject. You pick a subject and then you align your passion around that subject and you go deeper. And now with the advent of tech and AI, you go more deeper. But do not align your goal and interest with respect to what is hot in the market is what I'm going to pursue. Because this brings us to the classic question of Indian students and parents only think about ROI, nothing else. जहाँ पैसा ज्यादा मिलेगा वहां भेज दो, बाकी बात खत्म. Foreign universities, foreign goals, for global opportunities does not happen like this.
Yes, sir. I think this conversation answered many questions students silently struggle with today, from global education and visa to AI, employability, and the future of career. One thing became very clear: students cannot rely only on one degree anymore. The future belongs to those who continuously adopt, learn, and stay globally aware. A huge thanks to you, Sumit Rai, for sharing your practical and honest insights with us today. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure to be on your show, Monica, and I wish you and your students all the best.
Thank you so much, sir.